Fala galera, hoje eu vou entrevistar a Sharon do Within Temptation, uma das cantoras mais respeitadas do rock mundial. Você que é fã do Within Temptation e da Sharon, já chega dando like no vídeo, se inscrevendo no canal para mostrar que você gostou de ter essa entrevista com a Sharon aqui, beleza? Então, like e se inscreve no canal. Sharon, you probably didn't understand anything I said just now, but I made a short introduction here in Portuguese.
Okay, great.
First of all, I want to say that it's a pleasure to talk to you, right? Thanks.
Likewise.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, better now. Sharon, thanks for speaking with me. The Aftermath, a show in virtual reality, which has been getting a lot of praise. How have you felt about the feedback you've been received?
Well, really well, because it's something new, and people. I can also imagine a lot of people need to get used to it, and even though people need to get used to it, because it's like a video game versus a video. So and then live played, but then pre-recorded, which is all a nice mixture of something new. People need to get used to it, and I think having that in the back of my mind, I think there was a lot of positive feedback, and you have to see it for what it is, something new.
Oh, nice. The show's narrative is inspired by a post-apocalyptic them. Can you say that the world pandemic was also an inspiration for the script?
Yes, it was. I think not intentionally, but I think it was something that of course, it's in the back of your mind constantly with a lot of things, and when you're creating stuff, and because that's the world we're living in right now. So I think it did inspire us somehow, indirectly. Yes.
Yeah, I keep thinking about the challenge of choosing the script. And how did you go about choosing a set list for the show?
Well, because the fact that we had the theme, the Aftermath, we were searching for songs that connected to the storyline and also to this environment. And we have had, of course, a lot of albums like Mother Earth and The Silent Force, which deal a lot about the environment and how humankind is very self-destructive in a way, but also very resilient at the same time, coming up with new solutions to survive. And so it's I think we didn't have that much trouble finding the right songs for the set list. Luckily, also playing a lot of songs that we hadn't played for a long time, like Forsaken, for instance, which we started with.
Yeah, your most recent single, Shed My Skin, has a bit of metalcore twist, and you collaborated with metalcore act Annisokay for this song. How did the collaboration come about?
We were very much inspired by metalcore, actually, and we just loved the scene and a lot of bands from it. And when we wrote the song, we just thought like maybe it's nice to do it your way. And Annisokay is one of our favorite bands from that scene. So we felt like, okay, maybe try them. And they were very open to work with us. And so it was really nice to work with these guys. They were very nice and very talented. And it was really a beautiful collaboration. Really lovely people as well.
Yes. I read in an interview that you consider it a challenge to sing this song.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Yeah, very much. It's a song that goes really high and really low on the register of the vocal cords. So for me, it was like, I said, when we had written the song, like, I'm not sure if we can sing this really, like, full in the studio, like, and then I tried it. I was totally surprised that I succeeded. Not even that it wasn't even that hard eventually, but it is challenging. Your vocal cords need to be in the right shape to be able to sing this, for me anyway. And it goes, yeah. So, but I love singing it because it challenges me, and I love the challenge. So it's nice. And also Christoph said, I can't sing this. And we said, well, I thought so either that I couldn't sing it. Maybe you can sing it, and he could eventually as well. So it just takes some practice.
And do you plan on releasing any more new music this year?
Yes, we want to probably release one more single in the fall.
Yes, and when can we expect a new album?
At the end of next year, we're planning to release a new album. because we haven't written anything else except we have one song that's coming up this year still, probably as it looks now, and that's the final single for this year. And then we, in the meantime, started writing a lot of new stuff because we need to have a new album. Of course, there's a tour coming up, so there's not much time left to write the rest of the songs. So we're going to really work really hard to get it done before the end of next year.
Now I want to talk about your participation on Evanescence's new album. And you sing song Use My Voice with other rocky women. How was it to receive this invitation from Emily? And did you like the result?
I love the message it comes across. I love a bit of the 80s, 90s vibe that the song has. And it was, of course, a compliment to be asked, of course, among so many great ladies. And so I was really happy to do it. Yes, I'm very happy that I was able to do it.
Yes. Here on the site, Rock on Board, we have a lot of common fans of Evanescence within Temptation. And while we are talking about your participation with Emily, tell us about your relationship with Emily. When did you meet? And are you friends today? Fans love to know these things.
Yeah. Well, I think we have a lot of overlap with fans. They have kind of a similarity in the mystique kind of flavor that we have in our music, but also in how we do our videos and everything at times. So I think there's an overlap. So I understand that people do like the same band, the two bands, and besides that, how we met actually was she was playing in Amsterdam and. We were invited to come see the show, and she was playing with a small orchestra there in Amsterdam, and we were just very amazed by the great show she gave. And then we were asked also backstage, and we met, and then we had just a lovely conversation. And I think as people, we really connected by being really being just telling nice stories about our lives, which are very similar in a way. And because we do the same thing, of course, but everybody has their own stories, and you connect because you know what kind of life she has on the road, of course, and I have that too, and being both women, having families and everything. So there's a lot of similarities there, of course, and she's just a lovely lady, a very a powerful lady. And I think, so there's a lot to admire. And so I'm looking forward to playing with her next year and sharing the stage, of course. So I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, nice. Speaking of collaborations, I really love the version of the recording featuring Jacoby Shaddix from Papa Roach. And how did this happen? Yeah. Were you Papa Roach fan before you invited him to record?
I've been a Papa Roach fan for a long time. Oh, but my hair is flowing everywhere. Sorry. You're wearing a t-shirt. Yeah. I don't have my glasses on, so everything is a little bit of a blur. Still need to get contact, so I didn't see that yet. But no, we met actually at Graspop a few years back, just a year before we released the album, I think, or 1.5 years. And we were just together next to each other in the backstage. And I just wanted to say hi. I said, hey, I really love your music, and I've been following you guys for a long time. Also because they're also a band that changes a lot, and that I think there are not many bands who change a lot throughout how they started and how they sound now. And I really like how they evolved as well, although I love their old stuff just as much as the new stuff. And so I just started talking to Jacob, and it was really nice conversation. And later on, when we had written the song, we were like, okay, maybe we can ask him, and he was really open to that as well, and remembered also the conversation we had at the time. And so that happened quite easily as well. It was really nice, yeah. And I love his voice as well.
Me too. This is a somewhat complex question, but let's go. Anyone who knows Within Temptation knows that you really don't mind combining various styles within your music. You don't have that kind of prejudice. And this is not something normal with metal, especially symphonic metal. But your audience loves that mix. Does that surprise you?
Well, they love it and they hate it, of course, because I can imagine every time they love a song, they want to have a similar kind of song like that. And it never comes, of course. We go on to the next kind of thing that we like to do, and so it's a love and hate kind of thing, I think, for most bands, which I can imagine, because I also have my own bands that I love listening to, and when they change, like, oh my god, I didn't want them to change, I just want to make them the same record again, and I need time to love the new stuff they're making. But it's eventually, sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't, you know, and it's natural progress. And it's also that people also connect to music because they have memories to or connected to the music, like they were with a special person or someone they loved. They broke up with them, you know, on music. They made love on music. They celebrated on music. So it's you know, it's music, not just our music, of course. It's music in general. That's what music does. It's part of your life. Experiences, and when people then change their sounds, like, oh my god, I don't want this part of my life to change because you know, I need that symphony still there. I think that's how people approach music, more or less, I guess.
And let me tell you something. Yesterday I was listening to the Unforgiving album, and I really need to say this. And every time I listen to this album, I'm impressed by the amount influence. There's a lot of H rock on this album with metal, sure. Just listen to songs like Professor of Iron to prove it. Even this album is completing 10 years. Talk about it, how you see today this album, 10 years later.
This album particularly?
Yes.
Yes, well, I love the fact that we tried a concept album for once, and we had our own comic. And for us, it was looking back on our music heroes like Iron Maiden, but also Metallica and Chris Isaac, you know, all kinds of flavors coming by, and so different, diverse kind of bands that we were influenced for that album for. And these, of course, are big names, but you know, they're names that influence a lot of people and us as well, because we grew up with them. And so it was just an homage, you know, like an honor to honor the music we love from them. So, and integrate that in a way that how we would write typical that type of kind of music in our own way, because it's not that kind of, we're not Metallica, we're not Iron Maiden, we're not Chris Isaac, but we did it in the Temptation way, in the best way we could, and we tried it in our own way. So, and I like the album because it's another piece of what we are, I guess.
Yes, there's a track in this album that I love, Where Is the Edge? In this song, you bring a vocal with an amazing pop feel. You are one of the singers who can best alternate styles with metal. You sing heavy, you sing soft, you sing pop, and all with the same mastery. Where do your singing influence come from?
Well, that's the thing. I like all music. I don't have one genre except for metal. That metal's like my roots. You know, what I love most is my basis. But if I look at other genres, for me, a good song is a good song. So I like reggae, I like classical music, I like musicals. I grew up with Grease. This was my first love, actually. It drew me into trying to sing myself, and I loved the movies and the songs and everything. And after that, I grew up with parents that were playing music all the time: Santana, Chris Rea, Black Sabbath, Eagles, all of it. They were also very open to all kinds of bands, and so I grew up with a lot of music around me without people being actually making music. And so that was for me the next thing I wanted to do myself. So I don't want to sing other people's music. I want to do my own. So I tried a lot of things to discover what I wanted to do, actually. And I ran into Robert, and I fell in love with the music he was making. He had a band before with Temptation in the early 90s. And it was called The Circle, and it was a pre-band before with Temptation with the same kind of flavors, more or less. And I fell in love with that kind of vibe and mystique and epicness, you know, and folk kind of music, because I also love Dead Can Dance, Planet, and yeah. So, you know, I have a lot of mixtures, and if you put it all in a melting pot, I think that's what comes out. Whatever the song needs, I'll try to represent a Temptation way approach to the song, and try to of a vocal line or a sound that fits the song. Also is determined by tonality, of course.
Oh yes. An example of this pop song predisposition is a sensational version of Radioactive by Imagine Dragons. In my opinion, better than the original.
Oh, really? I don't think it can be better. But I loved, that was one of my favorite cover songs I ever did, actually. And also the one who've done Lana Del Rey, Summertime Sadness. Those two were my favorites, actually, to make a cover of, actually. I don't know why, because maybe the songs were just, especially the one of Imagine Dragon, was a little bit different timing, a little bit of hip-hop-ish kind of vibe in it, and I loved it. I love trying new things. So it was, for me, a nice challenge, and yeah. I'm really happy that we chose that song as well.
I love the arrangement, this song. Do you often play this song live at shows?
We did, but every time we bring out new songs, the set list gets hustled again, and sometimes when we feel like we do play it, of course, it's fun playing sometimes a cover, but I must say we have so many songs of our own that we mostly play our own songs, actually. So.
I really wanted to see this live. Play this in Brazil, please.
When we come back, just tell us again, and then we might do it.
Sharon, you have a solo project, right? My Indigo.
Yeah, My Indigo, yes, Indigo. I have, yeah.
I really that your solo project, My Indigo, revitalize your spirit regarding Within Temptation. That's true?
You mean, well, at the time that I started writing for it, I didn't have any inspiration for Temptation, and I was really was close to, I think, a burnout, actually, because I've been traveling so many times with the band on the road and away from family, and my father got sick. He died like 3 years, almost 3 years, 2.5 years ago. And in that period, he was sick, he got sick. And so a lot of things came together for me being really worn out, and at the same time, my father getting sick. And I really needed a different outlet than Within Temptation, which is about empowerment, of course, mostly. And I needed to be more introvert with my songs, about my personal blues, I think, in a way. And I needed to give that a sound and a voice. And I did it on My Indigo, which I didn't think suited on Within Temptation, which is more, My Indigo is a more personal record for me personally.
Sharon, no more questions for now. Thank you very much for the interview. It was a pleasure talking to you. You are a very nice, kind person. Sharon, this interview goes to our video channel on website. Send a message to your fans and Within Temptation fans, please.
Okay. Well, hello, this is Sharon from Within Temptation. Hello, Brazil. Hope you're watching. I really know that we have been around your country for a long time. I really hope that one day we'll see each other again. And I know your country is also a little bit in difficult situation in different ways. And I really hope you're doing fine. I hope you're staying strong and safe and healthy. And hopefully we'll see each other in better circumstances, and hopefully with a tour somewhere in the future. Take care, and I hope to see you one day again. Cheers.
Sharon, I love it. Oh, kisses.
Thank you very much.
Thank you again.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.